Now, observe the following. Look at this.
Contrast.
Look at this over here.
That's flat?
Don't say anything right away though. It's a midline structure. You see this, and then here we see four bulges. So now, what is this midline thing over here?
Ew.
Say again? Yeah, it's the pineal body it's kind of squashed, but it's the pineal body.
But that's posterior?
Yeah. Right, it is posterior. Now, what are the four bulges?
That's super inferior.
Yeah, that's right. So here's the pineal body and the superior and the inferior colliculi.
What's superior and what's inferior? That's the superior part?
You're not going to access
Well,
that.
this is a coronal.
Yeah, just going to take colliculi.
So look at this. What are these things over here?
Lateral ventricles.
Yeah, lateral ventricles. What's this over here?
Yeah, why is this so huge?
Cerebellum.
Yeah, the cerebellum. So therefore, which is superior?
That's superior.
Yeah, that has to be superior. That's right.
No, but are you going to, you're going to access individual colliculi, or just going to say it as a whole, colliculi?
Well, which colliculi are obvious?
I know, but I can't see the superior and
Can we
inferior.
just put superior and inferior?
Well, you have to get to the point where you understand what a coronal is. If you do, then you'll know that these are the superior
I know
colliculi
that.
and these are the inferior colliculi.
But I can't see them. What is he doing? Can't.
Pineal body.
Yeah, really, you can't tell the
superior
distinction
colliculi,
between the
inferior
two.
colliculi.
You can't tell the distinction between the two, though.
Because people's brains vary in size. The pineal body, the superior colliculi, and the inferior colliculi.
It's like next, we have about 6 minutes left.
Okay, now here,
Where?
yeah, there we have bodies of lateral ventricle.
Yeah.
Make
What
sure you
is
don't
that?
stab it.
Inferior.
That's the
Yeah,
inferior.
inferior horn. Now, what's going on over here?
Junction.
Yeah, there we are at the junction, and that since this is from P to A, that is the front wall of the bend, where the inferior horn is descending into the temporal lobe. You see, here we have where the inferior horn is coming off. You see, now that's the front wall of the bend. That way is anterior. Here, the inferior horn is making the turn to go into the temporal lobe. You see that? There we have, there is the body. There's the inferior horn. You see, there's the front wall of the bend where the inferior horn is making the turn to go anteriorly into. Well, we're close to the posterior one, but at the junction, here at this level, where it's coming off, we're at the junction. Now that way, on the other side of this section, this is pretty thick. It's already body over there. I'm not going to show the flip side on this one. It's too fragile to turn over.
So that's the horn of the lateral ventricle, that's the junction of the superior and posterior.
Yeah, so it's body there, and at the level of the section, it's where posterior horn is going this way into the occipital lobes. And then here, the junction is right, it's within the section, actually. Yeah, the junction between the body and the posterior horn and the inferior horn. No, it's just the junction. When you looked at the virgin.
And you're guilty.
Okay, so you should know this. This is an important
So that's P
section.
to A.
We gotta start cleaning up.
Yeah, one more. We have time for one quick word.
Last thought.
You said you want to go over this one
Now,
small.
what is the actual
Photoshop.
time? This one must be shown.
45.
This one must be shown.
3:45.
Let me just take a look at this.
Oh, that's
Okay. Now this one is very important. Now just take a look at this.
So we're back to horizontal now?
That one's kind of cool,
No,
actually.
this is coronal.
So why does it say horizontal?
Looks like
You
an
have
owl.
to ignore that.
That's a
Oh.
little tricky.
Tricky.
Well, now I'm gonna
All right,
know
quick.
Now,
Repeat that.
here we are at the back of the parietal lobes going to occipital lobes, you see, and here these are posterior horns tapering to go to the pole.
Oh, yeah, the
See
posterior
that?
horn, okay.
Yes, and this is the back wall of where the inferior horn was turning to go anteriorly. So this is the anterior surface, because you see this, and look how this is narrowing down to go to an apex. That says that way is posterior. Now here, we're in the territory of the midbrain over here. There is the cerebral aqueduct. And then up over here, you see we're in tegmentum, and those are red nuclei. The dark color is red nucleus, and then here we're in pons.
Oh, cool.
Wait.
Where's the cerebral aqueduct again?
right there, the probe is in it right now.
What's around the red nucleus?
What is it? I'm sorry.
Cerebral aqueduct.
That's in the middle of it.
Here's the cerebral aqueduct, and then here, well, we're close to the tectum. We're close to the tectum up. This little strip over here is tectum.
No, the bulges. Is that just all red nucleus?
This is red nucleus. This is a red nucleus.
dark
The dark, and that's a red nucleus. But here, because of the obliquity, we're going into pons over here.
Weren't we already in ponds though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but this one
It's an
shows a
oblique
different,
cut.
yeah, it's an oblique cut which shows a different perspective. This is a bit of cerebellum. Now look at the flip side of this. This is anterior, but let's look at the posterior on this part. And this shows an important thing to see.
Why don't you just flip it with
And
your
this is
hand?
the only one that shows this. I'm just going to turn over this part. Look at this.
Fourth ventricle.
Yeah, see? So we're at the very end of the cerebral aqueduct on the other side, and there we're in the fourth ventricle.
So that's posterior.
Yeah. So this is the fourth ventricle here. What is this over here? This is medulla oblongata.
Oh, okay.
You see right over there, look at that. There's the pontomedullary junction. And then here are the pyramids, the corticospinal tracts in the medulla. You see, so on this side we have pons here, and we have
The red.
the tegmentum over here with the red nuclei, and we have the cerebral aqueduct. But on the flip side, we see that's the significant thickness. We see the fourth ventricle, and then we see medulla oblongata, and there's the pontomedullary junction, and those are the pyramids. Okay? And,
We gotta clean up.
all right. Then, this is more posterior, so you see here, we're almost all the way back to the pole of the posterior horn. Okay? That's what we're looking at right over there.
Can you repeat that?
We're almost all the way back to the pole of the posterior horn.
I don't get that.
Yeah, me either.
Well, you see, the posterior horns taper to an apex.
Wait, this
But
is
that's
more
cerebellum.
posterior to the other one that you just showed us?
What?
This one's more posterior than
Yeah,
that
now
one?
these are more posterior, that's right. So that this is occipital lobe where it sits on top of the cerebellum.
So those are two occipital lobes.
That's right. And here,
But
the
isn't that like the fourth ventricle down there? That hole?
That's
No.
what.
No. We don't see fourth ventricle in this one.
What's that hole that you're right above?
What, this?
Yeah.
Here, this, that's right, that's true. That's true. This is the fourth ventricle. This is medulla oblongata.
Didn't he say that before?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not fourth.
And then here we have
Posterior one.
the posterior horns, that's right.
Oh, you were holding it wrong before?
Yeah, that's right. So now take a look at this. Fourth ventricle,
Wait.
cerebellum, medulla oblongata, occipital lobes, and then this is an oblique cut. So you see more anterior in the posterior horn here, and then here, there's the pole. All right, there's the pole.
Okay.
Okay.
So that brings us to the back
So
of
that's
the
the last